Hello, my name is Michelle Smith, and today I want to take you through my instructional design document and my LMS and how I ended up evaluating it in four areas using the Purdue evaluation rubric. This process began with the foundational document, the instructional design document, which is in my portfolio. It served as my blueprint. It outlined all the instructional needs, my design choices, and how I brought this course enhancing writing in the digital age um, to life within the Google Classroom. I've addressed each element of the Purdue course design evaluation rubric. So we're going to begin. My instructional design document is a critical instructional need. It identifies significant learning gaps when I first got started in teacher knowledge and classroom implementation of writing at the secondary level. I saw this left high achieving students unprepared for college and career writing. I am an AP Lang and Comp teacher, and I was a literacy specialist. Um, it impacts mostly a lot of our multiple language learners, learners with diverse abilities, and reluctant writers. So I designed this course for English teachers teaching in high school, but also some of our feeder schools, middle school feeder schools, because we have a high population of those students who also take advanced placement English and dual enrollment courses. And we have quite a few schools where our students get associate's degrees. So academic writing is important, but our students struggle. So this is a hybrid course, how-to course that I built around the ADDIE model, but also integrating the constructivist and social learning theories to ensure practical and collaborative and reflective experience. So I want to delve into like the rubric uh, and the rubric for me, part A is probably where I did the best alignment when I looked at my LMS and my IDD, which is the backbone of effective design, if you ask me, because I was a curriculum writer. So I started with the course learning outcomes. And even though we didn't go that route first, I think we did target audience and knowledge gap, and now I know why. But the course learning outcomes that I have are clearly defined, measurable, and appropriate. My professor from 605 helped me to adjust them for adult learners where they made a little more sense, especially when I got to my activities. For examples, learners will be able to include uh, grammar proficiencies in writing lessons to help low achievers and use AI tools in a manner that is effective and ethical. This directly fulfills the rubric for A1 by stating objectives clearly from a learner's perspective. And it's right here. So I said it was course ready. Um, and then from there, I ensured that every unit, module, lesson objective aligned with these COOs. Take the grammar module. Its objective is that teachers will be able to design writing lessons that integrate grammar instruction. That satisfies A2. This ensures a logical flow from broad goals to specific learning steps. So I do have this set up in modules, um, course learning modules here, and you'll see how everything matches up as well. And it did match A2. For like A3 on the rubric, I selected all my like instructional materials, content and learning activities, like all the collaborative lesson planning, scenarios. I wanted all that to align to these objectives. My choice of tools, even using Classroom, Google Docs, Padlet, and Peer Deck, were not just like arbitrary. They have specific learning purposes. And when you look at A4, Both external and internal tools, materials must have a specific purpose and really is for learner engagement. So I gave myself exemplary on that because I've been playing with the tools on my Google Classroom. And I'll show you guys in a minute. Finally, I did design formative assessments. So I set up modules on the Google Classroom, and each of them have a formative assessment. I haven't gotten to summative yet that aligns those CLOs with the materials, with the activities, with the assessment. So I feel like the competencies demonstrate a completion on A5. And you'll see more so of this when I switch over to Google Classroom. Multiple types of formative assessment. And I actually gave myself course ready because I don't have summative yet. I don't have summative yet. Okay. For section B, for organization, this more shines in the Google Classroom. So I want to switch over. I think I did a pretty okay job with that. I marked myself exemplary if I do say so myself. When you enter into my course, my LMS, you'll immediately see how I have addressed B1, and B1 is dealing with learners are introduced to the purpose and organization of the learning environment with clear and directions on how to get started. So when you come into this course, the welcome message and course introduction, course learning outcomes, course expectations, and course modality. Okay. You get a clear, upfront purpose, providing instructions on how to get started. And then we go into a comprehensive syllabus. And that goes into, the overall thing that we are, trying to align objective activity assessment. And those modules are soon to come in that follow this syllabus. B2, navigation. I ensure that within the Google Classroom, the classroom is logically well organized. So after you get through all of that, which happens actually in Module 1, I've ensured that the modules are clearly delineated. And I did it like this. Module 1, and then when you go to Module 1, you open it and it gives you a session focus, objectives, because I turn them into learner objectives, and then the materials. But what activities and resources you're going to use. And this makes the journey smoother for a teacher, I believe. And that's why I gave myself exemplary, okay? Now, interaction as a learning community, all right? What I did was, and I'm going to kind of move myself a little bit to Module 2 for this. Expectations for learner interaction are clearly communicated from the onset. It happens in Module 1, but I want to do Module 2 because you are going to see where it is. Even though Module 1 and the course expectations tell you active participation, syllabus for asynchronous and synchronous settings, and my own commitment for that, I want to show you how we build this learning community. And so just to show you what I gave myself, I did course ready because I always think I can improve in that area, but I did exemplary for C2 because of the communication tools I'm using to promote opportunities to build the learning community. So I'll show you why. So for one, this is the grammar infused lesson and module. So this will be the first time they do their partner activity. And they're going to be doing a choice board where they have to work with someone else and create an actual lesson plan. But with the lesson plan, they are creating the deliverable, and it has to have a multimedia connect. And this is the one right here where you start to see them having to get together and really work as teams. And then they have to also show their first technological ability, because they have to have a multimedia component, um, and bring in some of their work from their schools. So that takes risk taking. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was learners are provided with regular and substantial opportunities to interact with other learners. One is crafting the interactive sentence structure activity. With this, they're actually going to create their own mini podcast and upload it on a Google Doc. These opportunities are not just for chat, they are for academic interaction and support C3. Learning opportunities that provide meaningful or academic in nature, that support active learning. While this is active, once they do their podcast, I'm going to dump them all in a folder, and then they have to respond to someone else's podcast. That's also C4, which is feedback. And when I went to the rubric and I was going to C3, I said course ready because I felt like I'd be a little better, but I did the same before, because I always feel like you can still grow. Because I said they're giving feedback, but I should also be giving feedback, and that was the missing component for that. The instructor mechanisms for assignment and assessment feedback do align. And I did provide detailed instruction, as you see here. The next thing is, though, we get to opportunities for learners to do self assessments and peer feedback throughout the course. I did provide rubrics, but the thing that I have missing, I think I fell short, and was time for self reflection and feedback. And the rubrics are more so where I'm looking at something or a peer. So I didn't score myself exemplary there. I did just course ready. So, but like for instance, I have the rubrics for the peer that when they have to talk about how their instructional practice matches or does not match an excerpt, and here's their. But actually, no, I did. I take that back. I must have added this. I do have some self-reflection. I need to go back and change. And then I do have an area, D1 on the rubric, accessibility here, where I scored myself not at the top. I did course ready. And this one right here, incomplete needs revision, provided links with accessibility statements. I didn't do that at all in my Google Classroom. I have to go back and do that, because it was one of the accessibility pieces that I forgot that I did in my IDD, but I didn't do there. So the design facilitates readability in the LMS. And I considered colors and stuff like that because you don't have many in Google Classroom. But I'm still working on fully developing certain approaches to make this a universal access with that LMS. Okay. In essence, I feel like my mini course is a result of reflective practice from the initial instructional design document to me working on the Google Classroom. Every element has been revised a lot. That's why it's been taking me so long. That's why I think I had the independent plus all the other things. The incomplete plus all the other things going on. Um, but I think as I move forward, I got a pretty good handle on how to um, make it even more aligned to the core learning outcomes and speed up my pace too as well.